Are you tired of losing in Madden or college football or just not playing up to your potential? Then head over to ACEMADDEN.com and become a member. Our pro level schemes and ebooks are built to help you win more starting today. So go to ACEMADDEN.com and use code ACE for 25% off on your membership. Hello, gentlemen. Today I'm going to break down a scheme for you out of the TCU playbook. Now, this is a playbook that you guys wanted me to check out. I posted something on X the other day saying which playbook should I check out next, and TCU was one of the most common responses. And the reason that people love TCU so much is normal Y off close. This is probably the best formation in college football 25 and Madden, to be honest. And TCU has a really good normal Y off close. Now, I'm not going to talk about this formation today because I feel like a lot of people know how to run it. If you guys want me to do a breakdown on this formation, 200 likes, and I'll do this in the next video. But I'm going to break down trips halfback weak because I feel like this is a really good formation. Has some really nice plays in it, and it's somewhat off meta. So let's first talk about the RPOs, the run plays, the gadget plays, things like that. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I feel like you guys know how to run outside zone as well as RPO alert bubble and read option. But what I do want to talk about is shallow cross screen because this is a somewhat unique screen that you can do a couple different things with. So the first thing I want to note about this play is that your ISO receiver, so we do run the trips to the wide side, the ISO receiver is condensed and the receivers are condensed, which can be a tell. So just a heads up on that. But the nice thing about this play is it's a screen where all of our offensive linemen stay in the block and we can hot route anybody. So you can actually, create route combos out of this play. So that's one of the nice things about this. Now, when it comes to running the screen, you can, of course, call it stock like this. This guy's going to run across. And, obviously a user can see that coming from a mile away. So here's what I like to do. I like to swing my running back to the trip side like this. That way, we have an extra guy to throw to just in case they run with that drag. So I'll do it again. Swing to the trip side with the running back. If they play a zone coverage, it's very good for us. I can't believe they didn't pick up the block there, but as you can see, we have numbers against zone coverage. In that case, man coverage got beat too. Now, here's probably my favorite way to run this. Do this swing, and then we're going to speed out the outside trips receiver and stem him up twice with the D-pad. And you're not going to get an illegal man downfield when you throw this. So that's one of the nice benefits. We can try to get the screen, and if we don't like the screen, we might have that speed out. So that's going to be the run plays and gadget plays. Okay, now let's get into some passing plays. Return sail is probably the best play in the formation, so let's go ahead and start with that one. And we'll run this against random defense. And remember, you want to run with your trips to the wide side. And this first setup is going to be very similar to one that's very popular in Madden. We're just going to slant RB, which is that inside receiver. And then we're going to flat the running back. Now, I'll talk about some optional things you can do in a second, but this is kind of like your ideal setup. So right here, we're going to have this return route that wins. And the way I would read this, I would start with the slant. And then I'd move to return route probably. Or the post, either one. Kind of depends on what I'm expecting for coverage. But you only have 2 hot routes, and then after that, you're good to go. Oops, just kind of a bad pass lead there. But one thing I want to note about this play is that the stock drop back is very far, so I'm just going to snap the ball, watch the quarterback. He's going to drop back pretty far, and that's really not ideal. So what I would do to cancel that is just tap your left stick up after snapping. That's going to keep him in place right here. Tried getting it to the post, just didn't have enough time. But a couple optional things you can do here. Let's say you're expecting pressure and you need to block your running back. That's totally fine. You can do that. And then also if you're expecting man coverage, you can come back that outside trips receiver. Just give you an additional man beater. For return sail number 2, we're going to zig the middle receiver. And then I like to dig the ISO receiver. So in this case, he's on a post, which is honestly fine. You could just either block the running back or wheel the running back if you want to send him on a route. And this route combo is perfectly fine. I would say that I do prefer the dig, so you can make your own just with an in route and then stem up twice with D-pad and run it like this. So this is just going to be a basic flood concept. We have this really nice corner route. So if they don't have two flats over there on that side, you're probably going to have that corner route open or the zig open. It kind of just depends. But to start with your eyes over there, they play man coverage, you'll have the zig or the corner route. And then in some cases, you'll have the dig on the backside if you do have it. But just a basic flood concept with a backside dig. So there's really not much to it. It's just kind of a fundamental setup, but it's very effective. Next up, we have red zone cross Z rub. And the reason this play is pretty good in my opinion is because we have this slot fade, and then we also have two stock underneath routes. So all you have to do is put the ISO receiver on a deep cross, and you're good to go. And I like to actually just start with my eyes on the slot fade from RB, because he is going to be open a lot. It kind of depends on what coverage they're in. Good play by the defender there. But if they play match coverage, I actually like that slot fade to get open quite a bit. They play a cover 2. We're going to get above that flat. Safety's not going to get to him unless he's in an outside third. So start with your eyes on that slot fade. And then you can go to your underneath routes and just really anything over the middle. It's like right there, not the greatest read. If you want to put the running back on a route, I would still keep him on a wheel. That'll be your best bet. You can, of course, check it down to your drag. There's a slot fade. Run this a couple more times. Slot fade again. Get a good pass lead. One more time. Read the slot fade. If you like it, you can hit it. Sometimes you'll have this deep cross. Probably not the best read there. Let me go ahead and get one more rep in. And that's going to be red zone cross Z rub number 1. And then with red zone cross Z rub number 2, it's a very slight variation. All you're going to do is streak the inside receiver and then deep cross the ISO receiver. And then with the running back, you can keep him in the block. You could put him on a corner route. You could put him on a wheel, whatever you want to do. But I would start with reading the streak or the slot fade. And the reason that this play works so well is this is going to be better against cover 2 because that streak is going to hold the deep half. And then it's also clearing out like middle thirds for that deep cross. And we still have the check down from B. Like that. So I'll run this a few times. Again, this is better against cover 2 because we're going to hold the deep safety. Against man coverage, I would say not going to be the best setup against man because we're running, well, press man would probably be pretty good against because you have the slot fade. But if they're playing off man coverage, it's going to be pretty bad because you just have basically 2 clear out routes and then 2 routes that aren't very good against man coverage. Right there, a good play by the defender. But just notice how these 2 guys don't get too much separation versus man or match. But I do love this a lot against zone. And then here's what it looks like against cover 2. So you can see that the streak really holds that safety. So you can comfortably fit it into the slot fade. But just keep in mind if they have an outside third, that can get played. And then in some cases, if they don't have like a mid-read from this middle linebacker, you can hit the streak from the inside. But you can see the mid-read's playing him really well. We got kind of lucky there. But if they don't have that mid-read, that streak is very much a possibility against cover 2. And for the final play, we're going to talk about mesh wheel. And I do want to mention that the ISO receiver is reduced on this play, which means he's a little bit closer to the offensive line. But that's not a huge tell, and it also kind of doesn't really matter much. It just matters if you're going to be audibling around. So I just wanted to give a heads up on it. So all you're going to do is zig the inside receiver and then in route your ISO receiver and stem him up once with the D-pad. So just to kind of walk you through that, Y or triangle, X, LB, and then D-pad up once. I've already done it, but I'll do it again. And this is what it's going to look like. So you're going to read the zig. He's going to be open constantly. If they don't have 5-yard hooks or they don't user it, that is going to be your read constantly. Notice how he's open again. They are going to need to adjust to the zig. Otherwise, it's a free chain mover, basically. Good against press man. And if they user it, you're probably going to have the backside in. Like that. Now, if they do play a cover 2 man, I actually like this coverage against it. So I'll go ahead and go to cover 2 man real quick and show you. Check the wheel and the post. He actually recovered pretty well there. The wheel can get open pretty much naked sometimes. Let's have a look at the wheel. Just kind of depends. Safety played that pretty well, but overall, I do think that this plays pretty good against cover 2 man. Anyways, that's it for the scheme. If you guys want me to do that breakdown on normal Y off close, make sure to drop a like. If we hit 200, I'll drop that video next. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. And then if you need additional help and want to win more games, go to ACEMADDEN.com, become a member. You'll gain access to every single scheme we have on the site. See you guys in the next one.